r/confession stories. I hate my brain-damaged sister. I can't believe I am actually typing this out right now, it's making it feel very real. And before you say it, I know, I am probably one of the worst human beings on this planet. Around a year ago, my older sister, 27, widowed mother of 2 boys, 8 and 5, decided to, against every single warning made, get drunk as shit and wreck her car into a rock embankment outside of our town. She was life-flighted to a ICU, spent weeks in a coma and awoke in vegetative state. In the past year, she has slowly began to see some progress. Because of this accident, I was forced to quit my job, leave my friends, move across the country and back in with my parents, to help take care of her and raise my nephews. I love them dearly, but I have never wanted to have kids, especially not forced upon me like this. She had the mind of a child now, argues about silly things, can't cook for herself, cries over everything, can't read, memory loss, partially paralyzed on her right side, has aphasia, and a list of other problems with me as her caregiver. She tell me how happy she is to be alive after such a bad car accident. I want to scream that I wish she would have died. Her boys are a wreck after losing their dad recently and now having a fucked up mom. My parents are spending all of their retirement savings for her treatments. I can see the years getting shaved off my dad and mom from the stress. I don't treat her any differently, I still tell her stories and laugh with her and do my best, but I hate the way I feel when I look at her. Did you even think about your boys when you got in your car? She is smiling and completely ignorant to the pain she has caused to my entire family. So I guess that's it. That's my confession. I have a deep dark hatred and resentment for someone I love, and I will never let her know. Edit, I am a female BTW. And some people have said pretty horrid and cruel things and I totally get it. But I already feel pretty fucking shitty about my feelings, so you can't really make me feel any worse. Everyone else, thank you so much for the support, advice and feedback. I've read and appreciated every comment. A lot of the medical and healthcare advice I will be talking to my parents about, and hopefully the financial parts of this can be helped a bit. Thanks guys, much love. Now for the next story. I'm dying but haven't told anyone. I was diagnosed with cancer a little over 2 weeks ago, after a regular checkup. Turns out I have a tumor on my colon that has spread to other areas, liver and lungs so far, and will require extensive chemo and surgery for any chance to live longer than 8 months. I'm not having any treatment and I haven't told my wife because she'll only pressure me to get the treatment, which result in months of pain and suffering for a relatively small chance. Instead, I'm making sure our last few months together are filled with only happy memories. I'm starting work later and finishing earlier each day, to make her breakfast in bed and take her on dates in the evenings. My landlord I rent my workshop from has agreed to let me run my business rent-free for the next 6 months, which means significantly less financial stress and I can save a lot more, so she has something to carry her over afterwards. I hope she'll forgive me for taking this path. Now for the next story. My ex-wife committed suicide on Monday and I still haven't told my kids, but will on Saturday. My ex and I divorced 6 years ago. It was an ugly divorce. Our sons are now 9 and 13. We live 2 miles apart and we get the kids 1 week on, 1 week off. After the divorce, we had no real meaningful relationship other than talking about the kids, scheduling and stuff. I had no idea or interest in her personal life and she was the same with me. This last year, she started acting strange. She started being more chatty and friendly with me. I wasn't interested in having a social relationship with her. On Monday, I picked the kids up from school for my week with them and she texted me around 8 p.m. saying how I was the only person who she trusted 100% with the kids and I was a great dad and she thanked me for it. Then she told me to tell the boys that she loved them. That was weird because she would call my eldest to say goodnight every night that they were with me, but didn't on that night. I drive by her place on my way to work and noticed her car was still parked on the street, but assumed she was working from home or sick. I had texted her in the morning about picking up my son's school book that he left at her house and hours had passed with no reply. That was very strange because she would reply within minutes if it had something to do with the kids. I started to grow a bit worried and called her. Again, I know nothing about her social life, so it wasn't like I could call her friends because I don't know any of them and her parents live out of state. I left a VM telling her that if she didn't call or text me back by 2 p.m. then I was going to her house to make sure she was okay. I left work early and went to her house. There were packages at her door, which was another red flag. She would never leave packages unattended outside. I called, texted and knocked at the door and there was no response. I let myself in and called out for her. I went into her bedroom and saw this body with a large blood stain on her shirt and something that looked like a phone in her hand. That wasn't a phone. It was a gun and she had shot herself in the heart. Called the cops and they questioned me for 3 hours and told me they would reach out to her parents as I was no longer next of kin. I had to pick up my kids and kept a stone face as I was still processing the situation. On Wednesday, my eldest started complaining that his mom was not replying to his text messages and demanded that I take him to her house, which is still all taped up. He thinks she's ignoring his texts or that her phone is broken and wants to tell her to fix it. I asked to speak with his principal in private and told him that he would be missing school next week. He asked what in the world could be so important that he should miss a week of school. I told him his mom just committed suicide the other day and I haven't told him yet. Her mom has been calling me constantly asking to speak to the boys, but I told her I haven't told them yet because things have been moving too quickly. My eldest is picking up that something has happened and now the 9-year-old is picking up vibes too. My 13-year-old is demanding that we go to his mom's and even threatened to ditch school if I didn't do it. The 9-year-old wouldn't let me drop him off at school and had a meltdown. I decided to tell them what happened Saturday because I am not prepared to deal with the madness coming my way. My 13-yo will lose his shit. Now for the next story. I fucking hate my neighbors. You, yes you, woman with a charming smile who acts so friendly in the street. You know I can hear you scream at and beat your teenage daughter through the shared wall, right? I can hear her cry and gasp for air as you choke her. I can hear you screaming at her for coughing for dear life afterwards. I am aware she cannot leave the house alone, ever, since you homeschool her and never let her leave. But you know I called the police on you 2 days ago. What you don't know is that I've called the non-emergency number as well and had them make up a file of all your abuse of the past few months, when I moved in. You also don't know CPS will be visiting you soon. And that I've started logging everything you do since my call. You hit a high score with 7 different timestamps today. And it's not even after dinner yet. Congratulations, I wrote them all down. You disgust me and I spit on you. I will be recording and logging everything and calling the police on you whenever I hear that girl scream. Because she can't. Fuck you. I hope you get hit by a bus and die. Update, my neighbors are apparently afraid of me. I locked myself out by accident and sat next to my front door to wait for my sister to bring the spare key. I see their car pull into our street, they see me and slow down. Then turn around and drive away back the way they came. It's been quiet since I went pounding. No more yelling, no more crying. Silent nights. Good. Original update. I've been putting off writing this update because I really have no amazing or even just good news to share, but something snapped in me tonight and it's time to share. Quick recap, my neighbors are always shouting and recently it sounds like they're also physically abusing the daughter. First off, thank you all for the amazing amount of support. Unfortunately the police was not so supportive when I called in the second time, a few days after the post. They would send someone by and call me but nobody came. And the next day the local cops informed me that the parents are actually in their 60s and their daughter is 26. Same age as me. So CPS can't help her. I gave all the info I had to social services who will look into it. As she is apparently an adult I distanced myself from the situation a bit. I thought about trying to start up a friendship of sorts, but I have my own issues and can barely take care of myself as it is. So part 1 of this confession is that I walked away for a while. I spent a lot of time away from home and got into some bad habits trying to get away from the constant shouting. I've never really confronted anyone, and certainly not 2 people more than twice my age. Part 2 of the confession is that I kinda lost my shit tonight. I can't sleep when they argue so I watch Netflix till late. But tonight they kept pitching over the sound of my TV and just didn't stop. Midnight came and went, then 1 o'clock. At 1:30 the daughter started screaming, mother going even stronger, dad shouting occasionally. I paused my show, threw off my cozy blanket, found some pants and went outside. Gathered all my courage, I was terrified, the adrenaline rush was crazy, and rang their doorbell. The ringing was long and loud, nothing but silence from their end. They've taped up all the windows so you can't even see if the light is on. I suddenly felt really calm and angry, they definitely heard the bell. So I rang again, held the button longer. Again silence. Well at that point all my apprehension and nerves disappeared and I got furious. Every motherfucking day they have hours and hours of shouting contests that I have to listen to, and now they're playing deaf? They can't hear me? Really bitch? I pound the door 3 times like I heard the police do, without shouting police. Obviously, and at that point, I hear the dad snoring through their open bedroom window. What the fuck kind of mind game is this? Literally seconds ago I could hear him yelling. What weird ass shit is this? Then I turned around, walked back inside and was greeted by this amazing and strange silence. Well that's all for the video today. I hope you enjoyed it and as always have an amazing day.